talk to me about vacuums, because you know, and you know, the general, the reason why this is kind of important is that lots of people in the flat Earth community, and you heard this, have said that, okay, where's the bleeding edge of space? Where does the edge of the atmosphere stop and the amazing power of the vacuum of space begin? And nobody can really define this. And what we're hoping that you can really do is clarify what the levels of vacuum are, and what they're measured in, and the power of them. So what do you got? What led you down this path when in your professional career? What resonated with you when it came to flat Earth and vacuums?
First of all, I started taking a critical look at the ISS and the lunar module both, and trying to see what systems they had in place for those, for the vacuum environment. And as I've been inspecting things, I mean, like the most popular one is definitely that floppy door on the ISS.
Yeah.
I can't help but I gotta believe there's gotta be a stronger, I keep wanting to believe there's a stronger door on that. I mean, that's just absolutely ludicrous. I mean, in the vacuum world, you get laughed out if you walked into the fab with something to seal a chamber up with that. That's just...
I mean, I'm sure it's a secondary door too, you know, but the point is, why is it there at all?
There's no need for it.
No.
Because there's no window on the door.
No,
what's the point of it?
Right. If you have a primary hatch, why do you need that thing? I can't understand. It's like a door cozy. That's really all it is.
I know. Exactly. I just kind of want to get into, so people understand what vacuum is. And to give you a bearing, to give the people a bearing of just how radically strong the vacuum in space is supposed to be. Like, I'm more familiar with Tor because that's what we worked with. And just to give you a little bit more background about me, I was the guy that actually repaired the valves and maintained the valves and the vacuum chambers and worked through the computer systems that controlled them. So I have a pretty clear understanding of how vacuum works. But the atmosphere that you and I stand in is 760 torr. Okay. Have you ever taken a vacuum and just put it on your arm and flip the thing on and watch what happens to your skin?
Yes, I have.
Okay. I think we've all done that, right?
I think we've all done that, yeah.
Well, that measures at about 600 torr. So the smaller the number, the higher the vacuum, okay?
Okay, so smaller is better, and torr is at T-O-R-R?
T-O-R-R.
Okay, power of a vacuum is measured in torr, probably named after somebody named Tor.
Yes, it is, actually.
Perfect,
and,
all right.
And we've all seen these tests. I'm assuming a great many of us have seen the test on YouTube where people throw marshmallow in a little, glass chamber and they'll vacuum it out. Well, these little pumps, they're just a rough, low vacuum pump. These are nothing even remotely near what the vacuum of space is supposed to be. So you've got basically 5 different categories of vacuum, and one of them's rough or low vacuum, and that goes down to 1 torr. And then you've got a medium vacuum, which goes from 1 torr to 10 to the minus 3 torr. And so people go, oh, I'm in a perfect vacuum. And it's like, no. In reality, perfect vacuum's not possible, because it all has to do with the relative amount of atoms within that given space that determines the level of vacuum.
Okay.
So then you have high vacuum, which is 10 to the negative 3 torr to 10 to the negative 7 torr. And then there's ultra high vacuum, which is where I was in, 10 to the negative 7 torr to 10 to the negative 11 torr.
Wow.
Okay. And then there's an extreme high, which is negative 11 on down.
Okay.
There are lots of examples like this. You can find them online. Now, this thing is made out of solid or not solid, but very thick steel, right? The vacuum isn't even that great. And look what happens to this thing. It crushes it violently. Now, there are a ton of videos of things being crushed like this, from 55-gallon steel drums all the way up to railroad cars that do this. Now, I'm sorry, but if vacuum can do this to a railroad car, I cannot help but think what a vacuum pressure differential would do to a 14.7 psi ISS against a 10 to the negative 17th torr vacuum of space, right? These are both things, I mean, that vacuum we cannot even remotely come close to on Earth, right? And look what we can do with it. We can crush railroad cars, for crying out loud, right? So to think that the ISS is just up there immune to all this is ridiculous.
If we take an open jar into space, to outer space, and close it once up, thereby filling it with the vacuum of space, what would happen if we bring it to Earth level atmosphere and even to the International Space Station?
It would be the best vacuum we would have ever encountered on Earth, ever.
Really?
Yes. We can't
Better.
make vacuums as good as space vacuums.
Really?
Yeah. Last I checked, we can't do it.
There is a story that's been on our list for a long time. I've always wanted to test it. The myth is that a standard household vacuum cleaner has enough suction to lift a car.
Space is just
Space is a far better vacuum than anything we've been able to create in our lives.
So why don't we...
Oh, by the way, you might ask, how come all Earth's atmosphere doesn't just rush out into the vacuum of space?
It's true.
Hey, you
Why
might ask.
doesn't it?
Yeah, because Earth has gravity. Yeah, because Earth has gravity.
Yeah, because Earth has gravity, and Earth has gravity, and...
Well, to find out, it's back to Treasure Island for some predictable preparation.
Looks really nice.
First, the guys position the steel cradle above the car.
I think that looks good. It's right over the rear view mirror.
Then they add the boxes to the trunk,
A little more, a little top. Perfect.
roof,
Yeah, that's tight.
and hood.
Nice.
Next, they secure the boxes to the cradle.
I think we're good.
With that, the guys bring in the crane.
That's good.
Before Adam adds the vital ingredient, the vacuum cleaner.
Starting the vacuum in 3, 2, 1.
But with the vacuum on, the news is good.
It's climbing.
It's climbing?
Yeah.
As the crane takes up the slack,
Come on, baby. Hold on to this car.
the car does start to rise.
Yes, it's off the ground. This freaking car is off the ground.
Space is a far better vacuum than anything we've been able to create in our lives.
Oh, dude! We are lifting a car with nothing but a single vacuum.
Space is a far better vacuum than anything we've been able to create.
Remember, the crane is lifting the steel cradle.
Holy. There you go. That's about how we're feeling here.
But it's the vacuum cleaner on its own
This is every bit as satisfying as I was hoping it would be.
that's sucking the cradle to the car.
That is freaking awesome!
Space is a far better vacuum than anything we've been able to create in our lives.
So why don't we...
Oh, by the way, you might ask, how come all Earth's atmosphere doesn't just rush out into the vacuum of space?
It's true.
Hey, you
Why
might ask.
doesn't it?
Yeah, because Earth has gravity.
Yeah, because Earth has gravity, and Earth has gravity,
And to prove just that, once the car's maxed out, Jamie's going to pull the plug on the cleaner.
3, 2, 1.
Oh!
That was very satisfying.
Oh, that was awesome! Whew. So, and if anyone needs to lift a car with a vacuum, don't call us. We've done it once. We don't want to do it again.
space is a far better vacuum than anything we've been able to create in our lives. So why?
The following content is provided under a Creative Commons license. Your support will help MIT OpenCourseWare continue to offer high-quality educational resources for free. To make a donation...
Alright, let's try another pretty simple process. Let's just take a gas in some volume, V, and over here is going to be vacuum of equal volume, and we're going to remove the barrier. You know what's going to happen spontaneously, right? The gas is going to fill the available volume once it becomes available, right? You know,
Oh, by the way, you might ask, how come all Earth's atmosphere doesn't just rush out into the vacuum of space?
It's true.
Hey, you
Why
might
doesn't
ask.
it?
You know what's going to happen spontaneously, right? The gas is going to fill the available volume once it becomes available. And we're going to remove the barrier. The gas is going to fill the available volume. Take a gas, and over here is going to be a vacuum, and we're going to remove the barrier. You know what's going to happen spontaneously, right? The gas is going to fill the available volume, fill the available volume, fill the available volume, fill the available volume.
Earth is holding. Oh, by the way, you might ask, how come all Earth's atmosphere doesn't just rush out into the vacuum of space?
It's true. Why doesn't it?
Yeah, because Earth has gravity.
Oh, dude! We are lifting a car with nothing but a single vacuum!
Oh, by the way, you might ask, how come all Earth's atmosphere doesn't just rush out into the vacuum of space?
It's true. Why doesn't it?
You know what's going to happen spontaneously, right? The gas is going to fill the available volume once it becomes available. And we're going to remove the barrier. The gas is going to fill the available volume. The gas is going to fill the available volume.
I had my eyes closed, my ignorance was bliss, but then it died slow as I replaced it with my fist. Now I'd rather know and rise from this abyss. Now that I'm aware that I'm infinite consciousness, I had my eyes closed, ignorance was bliss. Now I'm being followed for spreading these messages. The threats might be hollow, my response serious. I reject Rain Man and umbrellas still get wet. I had my eyes closed. I had my eyes closed. Hey, hey, hey.